Welcome back to Chasing the Target. Sort of an ups and downs kind of a day, to be very frank. I mean, it started off with Australia beaming through 73 in about like 22 overs. They were playing very well, and then Josh Tongue had a black tongue and he came in. Man, that was crazy. That I mean, again, it was something that we saw from India, Pujara and Shubman Gill's wicket, which Boland got them out, and then now you see this Josh Tongue incredible delivery. I mean, it was a little bit more outside of stump than what was expected for Usman Khawaja and David Warner, but a very positive start for Australia's day. 339 in one day. I mean, they, with all due respect, I think it was a little baseball as well in there in the middle from David Warner in particular. He was getting runs quickly, and then Travis Head. Steve Smith again a very good partnership, but again unfortunately coming to an end by number one batsman in the world, which is shocking because England have five basemen and they're not able to do anything. 10 to I think 13 no balls again. You can see that that's been a very big problem from the first test, where they're giving up 13 no balls, and I don't think that's not acceptable, man. 13 no balls is not acceptable. But 339 for five on one day, I think Australia will be very happy right now.
या ऑस्ट्रेलिया वे अहेड इन दिस गेम मेरे ओपिनियन में. आप देखो सुबह से शाम तक ओवरकास्ट था. इट वाज गुड कंडीशंस टू बोल. इंग्लैंड शुड हैव पिक्ड अप मोर विकेट्स इन द फील्ड. दे डिडंट लुक एज पम्प्ड अप. दे आर मिसिंग समवन लाइक अ मार्क गुड मैन 100%. आई मीन जॉश टंग bowled really well, but the other bowlers look kind of lethargic to me.
Jimmy ko kya ho gaya yaar? Jimmy, like the way Tongue is getting it to swing, I would expect something like
Yeah.
that from Jimmy
It's
Anderson.
perfect
Jimmy
conditions for
Anderson.
Anderson, Broad, Robinson. They didn't utilize it at all. I don't know if you saw like what the broadcast there is, but I was watching on Sky Sports, and at tea time, Kevin Peterson went into
Yeah,
them.
he ripped him. Yeah,
He
he ripped
ripped
him
them into
apart.
pieces. He said,
Yeah.
"What the hell is this? You're like chilling and stuff before the game. You're talking to the opposition. You're having fun, smiling. Where is the intensity? Where is that aggressiveness? Harmison coming into bowl in 2005. We're not like it's fine. You can have friends. You can be friends and stuff after the game, but like this is before the match. You have to show intensity. You got to show some aggression. There was nothing there. They looked very lethargic. Didn't pick up enough wickets in मेरे opinion में. और आप देखो पूरा time overcast था, and मैं बोला overhead conditions है तो it should suit the bowling team. It was a right decision to bowl first, but yeah, I think Australia well ahead. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We know that Lords gets faster. Now if it gets faster and it's flat, then it's good for batting. But if it's faster and it moves around overhead conditions,
Then
then
you have
Australia will
problems.
exploit it, right?
Yeah.
Australia have bowlers who are quicker and can exploit those conditions even better. तो मेरे हिसाब से it was a very poor day. Joe Root was the saving face. जो 2 विकेट लिया, बच गए उन लोग, नहीं तो और बुरा हो जाता था. मगर अभी भी like 450-500 on the card. Steve Smith वहाँ पे खड़ा हुआ है. Same thing we saw in the WTC. Travis had counter attacks. Smith staying in one end. There's just a simple plan for them. And they're going 4 runs and over, bro. Like they're playing trav ball or whatever you want. उन लोग भी क्या बोलते सो अच्छा सा खेल रहे. रन रेट भी अच्छा है रन रेट उन लोगों का. And they didn't declare first. They didn't declare they're going to bat tomorrow.
Well, they don't have Ben Stokes there.
Yeah,
I mean,
so yeah, like
yeah, I mean, I agree with you on certain point, but like with Australia, the way they've shifted the momentum in this test, I think I really appreciate that because they're playing faster than usual. David Warner, like I mean, a very good innings. उसके हिसाब से जो रट में था उन्हें, I think he looked much more confident with the bat today. He was the one who was being more aggressive. He got 66. I mean, I know it's not 100, but I think with the way he was going about it, he had a lot of boundaries. He took his time, but it was still quick, right? Like 88 balls, 66 runs. He got after him, and Labuschagne again. I was expecting 100 from him, the way he was playing, but then again, unfortunate to get dismissed by Robinson, who again, itna hai कि even Robinson was getting it to swing, but I just don't know what's happened to Jimmy Anderson. He's not looking that threatening. He's not getting anything to rip. कुछ नहीं हो रहा है उसके लिए, like कुछ चल रहा नहीं उसका. And he can't come out and say this is kryptonite and stuff. I will not agree.
Yeah, आज मेरे लिए भी बहुत surprising था, especially conditions and stuff. ठीक है, wicket flat ही था, but there was still some grass on it, overcast conditions. I was also very surprised. Look, of course, age will be a factor. हम लोग बात करेंगे कि towards the end of his career, maybe he's missing that spark. That is obvious in my opinion. लेकिन अगर आप देखें डेविड वार्नर की बात, हम लोग कल यही कर रहे थे कि उसको like पहले 50 तक पहुंचने दो, then in the next few games he can get to 100. That's what he did. उन्हें 50 तक पहुंच गया. This is going to give him a lot of confidence. बच गया था. Stuart Broad was going to get him for a 16th time. मगर it got dropped at by Ollie Pope, I think. तो बच गया था उन्हें, मगर that 50 will do him a lot of good. Will give him a lot of confidence. And now
he looked more confident. He looked more confident as well. Like it wasn't so hard for him to get to the boundary. He has a lot of strength in him. खाली forearm से जो ढकल रहा बॉल को तो boundary को चले आ रहा. तो a couple of very good shot for him. Usman Khwaja and him both similar kind of deliveries, similar kind of wickets, man. Josh Tung, that ball, tin,
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean that was an incredible ball. If you see the ball before, थोड़ा सा short था and it missed his pads and went for four byes, I think.
Oh,
So the
yeah.
next ball he changed the length a bit, same kind of delivery, pitched it up more and it rattled the stumps. It was an incredible ball, really good delivery, and that's what we wanted more of from the England bowlers. We didn't see that. Like Josh Tongue, who's like making his Ashes debut, he's providing you the breakthroughs. What about your experienced bowlers? Yeah, it looked very lethargic, man, in the field. Um,
Hmm.
uh, we have to say what it is, of course. कल का दिन अलग रहेगा मगर आज के दिन ऑस्ट्रेलिया completely dominated. Yes, Joe Root picked up a couple of wickets, some good bowling, especially to Travis Head. That was a smart ball. And then Cameron Green mistiming one as well. But अगर आप ऐसा डालेंगे और 400 500 मारना है तो you'll be under pressure. Now Fez, going into the next thing, you're going to play baseball and you start losing wickets, then the
Then you're gonna
whole
come under
the
pressure.
whole
Yeah, yeah,
country is going to be on you, right? Like a
yeah.
rash. And I still enjoy, like for me it's still the style of game that I like, but
But
I'm
it's
telling
just illogical, right? Like the
nobody
approach
will
is gonna be
लोग
illogical.
नहीं बर्दाश्त करेंगे. You already saw
और नहीं
Kevin Peterson losing
करेंगे
losing
भी
his
नहीं
crap.
क्यों? बिकॉज देखो अगर 498 जैसा एंडी माइक भाई बोल रहे कि 498 होगा या 450 होगा फॉर एग्जांपल, and you go out and play baseball and you get out in 300, you still are giving 150 runs, right? Within the day 3 or day 3.5, Australia is going to get to 300, 400 again, and then you're going to be in the back seat again. So it doesn't make sense in certain situations. Now, what Ben Stokes, and I quote him from Pakistan's interview, he said, "We'll play it when required. We will play logical. This is the moment that he has to play with his head.
Yeah.
He can't play with his ego or whatever you want to call it, style of play. He can't do that. If he does that, then he's going to get ripped apart. He's going to get immediately a lot of people are going to come after him to get him removed as captain, which I know his team does back him, his team does support him. He has got results, but Ashil is something else for these guys. Like we've seen it how passionate they are about it. But मेरे हिसाब से he needs to play a little bit smarter, and it will all be dependent. अगर first session में England get 3 to 4 wickets, manage to get Australia by what 339 450, then I think he'll still go for his way of playing.
मेरे लिए मगर अगर आप लास्ट 2 days देखे, द डे 5 ऑफ द फर्स्ट टेस्ट एंड डे 1 ऑफ द सेकंड टेस्ट, प्रॉब्लम बॉलिंग है. लाइक दैट्स द बिगेस्ट
Yeah,
प्रॉब्लम राइट नाउ.
yeah, they're not getting wickets, man.
बॉलिंग
Yeah,
बॉलिंग में प्रॉब्लम है. विकेट नहीं आ रहे, ब्रेक थ्रूज नहीं आ रहे. देयर ऑस्ट्रेलिया इज टायरिंग देम आउट एंड देन ट्रेविस हेड कम्स, ही इज प्लेइंग काउंटर अटैकिंग. स्टीव स्मिथ आल्सो, soon as he came in, if you saw, it was a positive approach. First ball
yeah,
3 runs, then like after 2 3 deliveries another 3
yeah,
runs, then cover drive for
yeah,
4. तो अगर आप देखो like they're not being able to sustain Australia's batting either. They're not being able to pick up wickets consistently
yeah.
in the last 2 days of Ashes cricket. That's what I've noticed, and that's more of a concern. And that will automatically put pressure on your batting, whether you play baseball or not. आप aggressive खेलो या ना खेलो, automatically आपको pressure आएगा जब आपके bowlers नहीं ले रहे wickets और आप 400 400 concede कर रहे हैं. वो
And
game
again,
में
bowlers पे pressure भी थोड़ा मेरे को at some time unfair भी दिखता because they're not trying to change their template. So as a bowler, if I'm not getting wickets and the captain himself who's bowling, he's not getting wickets, he knows how the wicket is playing for his bowlers. He should be in a more counter-attacking kind of position in terms of the bat. अब तुम bat के साथ जाके मैं ऐसे ही खेलूंगा, out हो जाऊंगा और फिर pressure, फिर bowlers पे आएगा, फिर bowlers को wicket नहीं मिल रहा. But you knew that going in that they're not getting
हाँ,
wickets.
मगर
I
आप
think,
बात सही है वो. मगर आप देखो दूसरे मैच में भी यू हैड इनफ रन्स, लाइक ठीक है, जस्ट इनफ बोल सकते हैं आप. पर बॉलिंग ही हरवाई, राइट आपको,
हाँ,
लाइक
बट
उसमें
आपको मालूम भी था ऑन द फोर्थ इनिंग यू न्यू के सेकंड इनिंग में नहीं मिली विकेट, फर्स्ट इनिंग में व्हाटएवर, सेकंड इनिंग, फर्स्ट इनिंग ऑफ ऑस्ट्रेलिया, आपको मालूम था पिच नहीं चल रहा है, एंडरसन के लिए क्रिप्टोनाइट है, ब्रॉड, हाँ दे आर पुटिंग ऑल देयर एफर्ट्स बट रिजल्ट नहीं मिल रहा, तो थोड़ा चेंज कर लो
नहीं
बेस्ड ऑन
नहीं
द सिचुएशन.
मेरे हिसाब से ये है कि भाई आप लाइक पहले दे हैव टू फिक्स देयर बॉलिंग, बिकॉज आप पैट कमिंस और नेथन लाइन आपको 60 रन पार्टनरशिप मार रहे हैं, देन देयर इज अ कंसर्न. फिर आप जितने भी रन बना दो, आप लेट के खेलो, आप दबा के खेलो, जो भी करना है कुछ नहीं होगा. लाइक पहले ये आपको फिक्स करना है, उसके बाद फिर बैटिंग पे आएंगे. आई एम श्योर टुमारो वी विल टॉक अबाउट द बैटिंग. इफ देयर लाइक 50 for 5 tomorrow, we will criticize it, but what I've
100%.
seen in the last especially today, the bowling has been a big issue, man. They just don't look toothless, in my opinion.
And
Anderson,
मेरे को and they're giving away runs as well on top of that, right? No balls up there, it adds more to the pressure of a bowler's psychology, right? like अगर आप no ball, तेरा no ball यारो किसको बोले
तेरा या बहुत indiscipline
लास्ट
नहीं,
टाइम
right?
भी
Last time
आप
कितना था?
देख लो, या सेम 15 नो बॉल्स थे लास्ट टाइम, 15 नो बॉल, दैट वाज द, और कितने से हारे, कितने से कितना एक्स्ट्रा था, 50 थे with 3 wickets to go for Australia.
Yeah.
You take out those 15 runs, you have 65 to 70 runs that they'll
एग्जैक्टली
have to.
तो
So
ये
it
बॉलिंग
makes,
इंडिसिप्लिन है बॉलिंग का
yeah,
इश्यूज चल रहे दे लुक रस्टी अपार्ट फ्रॉम स्टुअर्ट ब्रॉड nobody has bowled properly this summer like if you look at it he played the Ireland test apart from him nobody has bowled that way yeah
yeah,
Josh Tongue has bowled and you saw his
yeah.
response today he bowled really well तो
Mm.
properly prepared नहीं दिख रहे उनके bowlers and Australia capitalizing also you have to give credit to the Australian batting this is a world class team man उन लोग को मालूम है कैसा खेलना है and उन लोग भी like जब chance लेना है ले रहे हैं it's not like
बिल्कुल.
they're also playing proper test authentic test cricket ये नहीं था like 4 runs and over is not authentic test cricket it is
Now
also playing
tell me,
aggressive.
do you think that taking out Boland was the right call, or based the patches in this wicket where you have to hit the deck and then you get the swing? Do you think it would be better to pick Boland, who's more accurate over a Mitchell Stark?
I can answer that after Mitchell Stark bowls.
That's
I'll
true.
have to see, you'll have to see how he bowls, and
Mm.
then I can tell you what the situation is. But I think, look, with Mitchell Stark in Lords, that extra pace, they probably back him. मैं उल्टा करता था. I would have played Stark in Edgbaston and then Boland in Lords. That was just
Mm.
my opinion. But I don't mind seeing Mitchell Stark rotating the fast bowlers. मेरे को कोई issue नहीं है उसमें.
Yeah, yeah,
अगर आप देखो, like Boland भी पिड़िया था last game में. It's not like he took a fifer and you're dropping him. So if
yeah,
you're getting Stark in, then you get Boland for the next game. You rotate these guys. It's a long
yeah.
series. There's going to be multiple test matches and very very little क्या बोलते so time to recover. So I think it's okay. Like मेरे हिसाब से
इंटरप्शंस तो थे आज फर्स्ट ओवर से इंटरप्शन आ गया था ऑब्वियसली प्रोटेस्टर्स आ गए थे बेल्ट तो उठा लेके चले गया था
वो क्रेजी था
वो था फिर बारिश हो गई थी देयर वाज अ बारिश स्केयर इन द मिडिल एंड वी ऑलरेडी सेड दैट गोइंग इन के क्लाउड सनी बता रहा है बट व्हेन दे केम टू द टॉस देखो आप कितना overcast था that's why England decided to go and then बारिश भी हो गई तो Australia is getting better and better for Australia if we're looking at it that way and yeah condition अगर ज़्यादा कल overcast होके Australia में 470 480 what
yeah.
is the approach England is going to go with
The approach is one approach. They're going to go and smash it. Like they're not going to change
yeah
their batting, but they get out. They get out. That's how I look at it. लेकिन मेरे को बहुत similarities दिखे WTC final से ये आज का
yeah
जो दिन था particularly
yeah
right. Like of
yeah
course Steve Smith and
well
Travis had
left
that partnership. In the beginning we saw a few wickets and then that partnership between these two.
Hmm.
Then Root coming in picking up a couple of wickets. The way Australia are playing, they've come with a proper game plan. They're implementing it against different teams, different oppositions, and yeah, they're understanding them game well. People are contributing. Even Labuschagn's 40, whatever it is, it's a contribution, right? Like it's not like he went out for 0 or 1 or like
yeah
that. People
no
are
I think Labuschagn's contribution was immense because एकदम से 2 wicket चले गए थे set batsman कोई थे नहीं and I think he gave Steve Smith a good though Steve Smith came up with a more positive approach जैसा अपन बोले same thing we saw in the second innings of the WTC where Smith came and hit a boundary and said no we're not going to stop we know what we're doing so I know it's too early to say this but do you think England has sort of outplayed this sense in like every dimension like Ben Stokes asked for more flatter pitches now his bowlers are not responding now his batting is going against him if it is in red do you think England outplayed themselves like yeah, ज़्यादा overconfident होके ये चीज़ करे I know it's too early to call it but just from what I'm seeing till now I'm saying
From what I saw, the first test match was 50-50. It went down to the wire. Like one team won, one team lost. Now after the second test, maybe minds will change. But in my opinion, I think it this is the approach has got them to this place. And it's not like they got bowled over. Like in the West Indies, they got absolutely slaughtered by Alzari Joseph and those guys.
Yeah.
They got absolutely slaughtered. So here they competed with Australia. They went toe to toe with Australia. That yes, they're being overconfident. उन लोग ज़्यादा बात करके बोल के खेल रहे हैं उन लोग. And the Aussies are like right now the Aussies have the upper hand. They're saying like all you guys are talking smack, you're not showing anything. But if you see it, they're still competing. Yesterday was a day where they got completely dominated, but let's see what happens until the end of the test and then see how it goes. But how I see the first test match is that they could have won that. Yes, they made mistakes and thing, but
yeah
how
I
see
think
it was okay.
I think the first test मेरे को declaration से problem नहीं है I completely agree with that still I'm going to keep it think it's just the no balls are getting to me the lack of I know you're putting an attacking field but you're still not adding that pressure from a bowler's perspective at least be disciplined in your line and length and something or the other that you can try different like that's why I like Siraj like in India you see him नहीं मिल रहा उसको swing उन्हें he थोड़ा outside of stump डाल के निप करा नहीं मिल रहा सिंह गुस्से में लाके स्मिथ का ने मुंह पे बॉल फेंक दर कुछ तो भी उन्हें करने के हरकतां करता बट इंग्लैंड अगेन दे जस्ट लुक टू कंफर्टेबल राइट नाउ चल रहा है ना चलने दो टाइप्स कैप्टन का बैकिंग है लंबी रस्सी है तो कहीं ना कहीं I mean again it's too early to call up these things, but maybe after the fifth or the third or fourth test, we'll
Yeah,
come to
I mean, yeah, we'll have
understanding
to
it.
judge the pitch also. How after two teams bat, we'll have to see how Australia bowl, what the differences are. It could well be that Australia come and completely dominate with the ball. They bowl a different line length. They get the ball to zip a bit more
Yeah.
and cause problems for the England batsmen. Or England also come and make runs as well. So we'll only be able to judge after. But from what we saw today, it was a very lackluster bowling performance, especially with the conditions. In England, the conditions influenced the state of the game, and today it should have been in England's favor. They should have had at least like 6-7 wickets today and less runs. I would say, like 280
And
for
again,
six.
like the field was not like we
287.
saw in the first test. Like we're not attacking. It was more or less like a proper ठीक ठाक फील्ड ही थी. ज्यादा डिफेंसिव भी नहीं था, ज्यादा अटैकिंग भी नहीं था, कोई घुस के कोई ले रहा नहीं था, कोई प्रेशर नहीं दिखा मेरे को जो तरीके से डाल रहे थे. फॉर एंड अगेन अपन कल बात करें, दे आर लैकिंग एन ऑफ स्पिनर, बट जो रूट केम picked up his 2 wickets. So
That ball
I mean,
to Travis Head was very smart.
yeah,
He read it
and
like a
yeah,
batsman,
sure.
and he that was a really good ball. But first, काफी लोग जुड़े हमारे साथ comments ले लो पूरे, and शुक्रिया जो भी लोग
Yeah,
comments कर रहे हैं
yeah.
अपने
Did
balls.
Australia make a mistake leaving out Boland? Is what Ibrahim Bhai is saying, and I think right, like Mustafa said, abhi to Mitchell Starc की bowling देखना है, but yeah, maybe it just looks like it's set up for him that he has to bowl wicket to wicket, and probably he'll get something out of it. But I think 500 subscribers complete. I need to go. Yes, sir. Many,
क्या
many,
बात
many
है,
more. Okay.
मुबारक
Mubarak.
सबको मुबारक.
Huh. India versus Pakistan drama continues as Chennai has been set up as a backup venue for World Cup match as Pakistan might not give Pakistan. Yo, again, कुछ तो भी किच्ची आ गई इधर. I mean, अभी तो देर नहीं हो गई. I mean, I don't know. I think आपका
हैदराबाद को कर
अहमदाबाद
देना बैकअप.
नहीं करते यार. Like you said, they have 2 matches, 3 matches
There
here.
are 4 games in Hyderabad, bro. Two
Yeah.
warm up
I
and
think it'll
two.
become Hyderabad will become like their home, man.
Yeah,
Home away from
bro.
home. I'm not even
Bob is
lying.
coming home, bro. I've been saying it since yesterday. He's coming
And
home, bro.
Chennai again, wicket wise, I don't know. Stadium तो छोटा ही है ना चेन्नई का. तब
पाकिस्तान के ज्यादातर मैचेस साउथ में ही रखे तो बेटर है, आई थिंक politically and everything. That's what like the like what I that's what I think. It's
That's
not
the
like
thing.
it's not a
And that's
fact.
what they think as well. No, that's what
Yeah.
they think as well. And that's why I say,
Yeah.
आप देख लो बैंगलोर में है, हैदराबाद में है, चेन्नई में. Theoretical what they think.
Yeah.
But yeah, Australia is going to get 498 all out, says Andy Mike. England basketball खेलेगा तो उसी को उसका ही नुकसान है यार. अब यही है ना कि भाई, that is what it is. He has to play it out smart. If they're able to get clearance in 50-60 runs in the morning, then that'll be different. That'll be different.
मेरा point क्या है
confidence
मालूम?
level.
Why I don't agree too much with the experts, even though they have much more knowledge, much more thing with me. The thing is, when England were playing anti-baseball, when they were playing traditional Test cricket, they still used to get spanked. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? उन लोग फोड़ के रख देते थे ऑपोजिशन टीम्स उन लोगों को. इफ यू सी लाइक न्यूजीलैंड मार देते घर पे आके, इंडिया आके 2-1 जीत रही थी वो समर, उन लोग वेस्ट इंडीज जाके वेस्ट इंडीज फोड़ दिया, बांग्लादेश में जाके हार गए, एंड दे वर प्लेइंग ट्रेडिशनल टुक 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 टुक, नो रिस्क एंड एवरीथिंग. दे प्लेइंग लाइक दिस, इट्स गॉटन देम सम रिजल्ट्स, जस्ट कंटिन्यू टू प्ले लाइक दैट. बट you have to look at other things as well, like like you said, of course you have to make fine adjustments. You have to see the situation. कभी कभी रिवर्स स्वीप नहीं खेलना, आपको रोकना पड़ेगा, कभी कभी वो करना पड़ेगा, मगर जो नेचुरल इंटेंट है, जो अटैकिंग क्रिकेट खेलना है, दैट इज फाइन, बट थोड़ा सा एडजस्टमेंट के साथ. बॉलिंग वाइज आपको बहुत चीज़ों पे फोकस करना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज राइट नाउ आप ऑस्ट्रेलियन टीम को नहीं निकाल सक रहे. अब एलेक्स कैरी स्मिथ कितना मारेंगे वो भी नहीं मालूम हमारे को, राइट? अब
और एलेक्स कैरी भी काउंटर अटैकिंग
जल्दी
है.
नहीं तो 500-600
Yeah.
मार सकते थे उन लोग, तो वो भी बात है, राइट? लाइक दे हैव टू focus on those weaknesses, and then in the bat we'll see, we'll analyze their batting when they do bat, and then we'll see where they can improve.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, रुक के तो ही बता सकते बेसिक जीतेगा या बेसबॉल जीतेगा, बट अगेन फर्स्ट टेस्ट के हिसाब से तो मैं बोलूंगा अभी भी पार ऑन पार है. लाइक अगर प्लेयर की मेंटालिटी नहीं है रुक के खेलने की, आप उसको इंस्टिल नहीं कर सकते ओवर लाइक समर एंड टेस्ट क्रिकेट. अगर इन लोगों को ऐसा खेलने में मजा है, इन लोगों को खेलने आता है ऐसा, देन आई थिंक उन लोगों का
और आप देखो ख्वाजा जो खेला सेकंड इनिंग्स में, इनक्रेडिबल दो इनिंग्स खेला उन्होंने, मगर सेकंड इनिंग्स में जो उसका तरीका था, इट ऑलमोस्ट बैकफायर्ड ऑन हिज ओन टीम, ब्रो. Right?
Yeah,
like,
because a lot of people were going and then runs.
You messaged me and said like you can't play like this, like he's putting too much pressure on his opposition. So it's like a bit of 2 and 4. There's always grass is greener on the other side in this kind of situation. जो भी जीता वही सिकंदर. Like when you win, then you have less arguments, and when you lose, you have more criticism.
Anderson wicketless, very big issue. I mean, Anderson first test में भी कुछ ज्यादा, चलो क्रिप्टोनाइट बोला, अब यहाँ पे तो कंडीशंस थोड़ी बहुत फेवरेबल है, एंड द एक्सपीरियंस दैट ही हैज, ही शुड बी प्रॉब्ली डूइंग मच बेटर गेटिंग द बॉल एटलीस्ट टू मूव अ बिट, बट इट जस्ट लुक्स लाइक उन्हें आके पटक के विकेट टू विकेट, आई थिंक ही इज नॉट फाइंडिंग द राइट लेंथ, और ही इज नॉट फाइंडिंग द एरियाज व्हिच ही इज सपोज्ड टू एक्सप्लॉइट. अब जॉश टंग का देखो यार, वो 2 balls बैक टू बैक, मैन, and it's not like you need pace for that. He's just putting in the right areas, and it's just funny that Anderson with all that experience नहीं कर पा रहा.
Hmm.
फैन कलर क्यों फेंक रहा था, होली तो नहीं है, जारवो की याद आ गई. वो ऑयल प्रोटेस्टर है वो, एंड दैट्स हाउ दे डूइंग इट. हर इवन फुटबॉल में हो रहा है ये, इवन क्रिकेट में भी हो रहा है. स्टॉप ऑयल प्रोटेस्ट चल रहा है थ्रू आउट द वर्ल्ड. आई डोंट नो व्हाट इट इज एग्जैक्टली, बट या आई डोंट नो, इट्स समथिंग टू डू विद सम काइंड ऑफ जो भी बोला. हेलो गाइस, अब बोलिए क्या होगा अंकल एंडरसन का उफ क्लाउडरसन को.
अभी क्या होगा देखो, नेक्स्ट इनिंग्स उसको आके अभी उसको अब आप कल वापस आके विकेटा लेना है, नहीं लिया तो फिर सेकंड इनिंग में लेना है, नहीं तो फिर ड्रॉप ही करेंगे उसको थर्ड टेस्ट में. मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा है दिल ड्रॉप हिम, गेट इन लाइक समवन लाइक अ मार्क वुड और मैथ्यू पॉट्स और इवन क्रिस वोक्स might come in instead of him.
And works and bad
Because
as well,
I
so
think
yeah.
Vokes can bat as well, and Vokes would have exploited these conditions a bit more better. He gets the ball to nip away as well. He's a good bowler in these conditions. We saw in any format, matlab Vokes is very accurate. We क्या कर सकते हैं, right? Like I didn't expect because I thought like Anderson, I know he's 40 years old and everything like that, but he's still a really, really
I
good
mean, there's
bowler.
still 4 days in this test. I think, well, like Mustafa said, we need to take one day at a time. I know it's
Still
been
a really
five
good
days
bowler.
plus
अब नहीं
one
पता
second.
अब क्या हो रहा है उन्हें दो
And it's
इनिंग नहीं
not just him. At least he's still more disciplined when you compare it to the likes
but
of
it's been
like.
like 3 innings. He's not picking up wickets. He's not being so. That's why people are think so. So I understand, but yeah, they'll have to make an assessment at the end of the game. Up to he's playing, he has to play. Like he has to try and improve his bowling and pick up wickets in the next 2 innings and next innings and this end of this innings. Yeah.
Yeah, Robinson picking up one. People were criticizing him a lot before the match. Megra and all of these guys were calling him a slow bowler. उठा तो लिया एक wicket, but again, he's still more or less like not able to get it to the levels that we saw him actually do it on a flat wicket, right? Flat wicket में और उन्हें country डाल रहा था.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think last innings, last match में तो अच्छा डाला उन्हें. Look, they were just doing that because उन्हें he gave the mouthful to
Yeah, he got 3
Khwaja.
wickets, I think, in the
Yeah, he
first.
bowled pretty well, like in the last, especially in the first innings. But yeah, in this innings he looked flat. So did Anderson. Broad to a certain extent looked flat. He was unlucky that catch was dropped off David Warner. Like yeah, overall apart from Zaban, nobody really performed, man. Like him and Joe Root, that's it. They're the only ones who picked up wickets.
मुस्तफा भाई, आपको पहले भी बोला था 2015 में स्टोक्स बेस्ट और बटलर तगड़ा खेल रहे थे, उसके बाद ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने इनको मारा, देन ये सब बाहर हुए. इस सीरीज के बाद ऐसा ही होगा, काफी प्लेयर्स बाहर होंगे.
अब नहीं जीते तो फिर हो सकता, लाइक मगर अभी तो टाइम है. अभी 5 इसके बाद और 3 टेस्ट मैच है तो देखेंगे. ये टेस्ट मैच खुद खत्म नहीं हुआ, आप हमारे को रिजल्ट नहीं मालूम. विद रेन अराउंड देयर कुड बी ड्रॉ ऑन द कार्ड्स आल्सो, सो वी डोंट नो क्या सीन है. इफ
That's
इंग्लैंड
also
को
gonna be interesting to see,
if
man.
you go into the Leeds test match with the 1-0 deficit, you're still going to back England to come back into the series, right? So we'll only have to take the call after the series is done, in terms of not me, but like the England team will take the call after the series is done.
But it's been interesting how like Jeffrey Boycott, Nasser Hussain, Kevin Peters पूरे फिर भी है
हाँ,
पूरा.
जेफरी पॉकर्ट को मैं पूरा सुना पॉडकास्ट में तो दे दिया. आई सेड लाइक ओके ट्रेंड, आई एंजॉय द टेस्ट मैच एवरीथिंग, बट आई वांट टू विन ब्रो. लाइक आई डोंट केयर अबाउट एनीथिंग एल्स, आई वांट टू विन. तो उन लोग का माइंडसेट वो है कि भाई जीतना है. ये वो मेरा यही है कि भाई आप जब वो दूसरा स्टाइल खेल रहे थे, कौन सा सक्सेसफुल थे आप, राइट? Like उतना, yeah, you beat Australia since 2001, but apart from 2005, all those other teams weren't that good, bro. The after 2005, this is still not 2005 level Australian team, but it's the second best one, I think. The other teams which came to England बेकार थे यार. लाइक शेन वॉटसन डाल रहा 20-20 ओवर, और उन्हें क्या नेथन हावर्ड्स क्या था रहा उसका ऐसे प्लेयर थे उन लोगों के. लाइक रायन हैरिस डेक्कन चार्जर्स डाल रहा ओपनिंग द बॉलिंग. अलग है ये. दिस इज अ क्वालिटी टीम.
Yeah, but again, then there's like situations where you can play still conventional approach. You just need to be very smart with the way. I completely respect this format of baseball. I'm not gonna be like, but where Jeffrey Boycott is coming from, you want results as well. You want to be number one. You can't just say हमला ऐसा खेलते, हमला कोई direction, कोई vision, कोई number one spot के लिए लड़ने का तो वो रहना. Like you're just throwing away the plot just because you want to entertain people. That's also I will not agree with. But again, it's given us results, so you need to find the balance, right? That's the main thing over here.
Yeah.
With no passion for Test cricket and younger generation to play or watch, do you think it's going to survive? My 13-year-old cousin only watches IPL, else he is always watching football. That question, like, obviously depends upon a lot of things. I think you'll see a lot of changes maybe in Test cricket going forward. I don't know how they're going to do it, but yeah, it's just like लोगों को अब नहीं है उतना इंटरेस्ट जितना अब था, और नेशंस भी कम हो गए जितना टेस्ट क्रिकेटिंग देखने वाले नहीं, इसलिए गर्ल्स वेस्ट इंडीज या श्रीलंका ऐसे you would like to watch these guys play, but now it's just like India, Australia, England, and probably like New Zealand, Pakistan, five max. Like so,
Mm.
I mean South Africa is there as well, but again their team has been under restructuring. It's a very hard question to answer. It's like because there's always going to be this era of 90 people where the 90s where we're going to watch because we love cricket and we like to watch test cricket. But again, the next to next gen, maybe 10-15 years, maybe you don't know, you might not even see test cricket.
Yeah, I mean, everyone goes through that phase. We also went to the phase where we were watching more football than cricket. Like all of
Yeah.
us went through that phase. वो तो रहता. But then, if you're watching from a young age, even if it's your second sport, there's going to be a time where that cricket you start loving it and you won't leave it, because there
Mm.
are instances in the game which is unbelievable. Like, in recent times, I remember the Virat Kohli innings. I'll never forget something like that. Like, me and Fez were we always talk about Tendulkar, Wasim Akram, and this and that, but this was no less. Like, that Kohli innings
Yeah.
was something that we'll never forget in our lives. So as young kids, of course, like, football is a faster pace, 90 minutes mein khatam ho jata, less concentration bachchon ko rehta. But once you get older, your concentration builds as well and everything. And if
Yeah.
you're surrounded by cricket as a kid, then more often than not you'll come back to it. Like, Fez stopped in between, I stopped in
Yeah.
between. Like, stopped in the sense that we were watching more football, we were doing more things,
Yeah.
other things in life.
Score तो देखते थे, वो था तो था,
स्कोर
score तो
देखते थे मगर मैच उतना नहीं देखते. For people who were brought up cricket, like,
Yeah.
we didn't watch as like, we still watch इधर उधर में उतना इंटरेस्ट से नहीं लेते थे. Like, especially after the 2011 World Cup, there was a period where like हम लोग लाइट ले रहे थे, right? We still watch Asia Cup. देखे हम लोग
Yeah.
शोएब अख्तर को जो मारा हरभजन, हम लोग साथ में
Harbhajan,
देखे वो मैच. Even though not I think at that time not a lot of people were watching cricket in our friend circle or whatever. We still watch that game. But yeah, as you get older, if you're brought up in a cricketing culture, you will get the game again. There's going to be certain times. World Cup के time पे, if you're living in India, this is all, the whole conversation will be World Cup. So people will take interest in that for sure.
Yeah, well, like again, with what Nitish Bhai is saying, it's like going down the line. Do you see it happening? I mean, it's hard because the world is moving way faster, way faster, way faster. So, like, आप देखो 60 overs होते थे हमारे बाप दादा के ज़माने में, फिर it came down to 50, then it came down to 40, then it came down to 20. So they will make some changes to, they'll obviously, they're smart people, they're not stupid, right? The broadcast, the boards, and everybody, they know how to make it more interesting and alive. So they're gonna make some changes, but again, adaptability. तो रहना. I mean, I would not want Test cricket to die, but maybe that's a possibility in the future, maybe.
But I think in the age of social media and everything, cricket will still be alive. Like, you see when there's a
Yeah,
big
and now
match
if
or
you see a
something.
lot of it becoming a global sport, then yes, 100%. Like, you'll have like people from Oman and all of these guys. Then you probably will get into it. I mean, it's just a very far-fetched thing which we probably can't understand because we're used to this kind of system. But you never know. क्या होने
मैं
वाला है.
आपको लिख के दे रहा हूँ 15th October. Like,
वो
all
तो
the
100%.
जो
वो
मेरा पॉइंट ये है कि जो लड़कियां लड़के जो नहीं देखते क्रिकेट,
yeah.
सब देखने
Bandwagon.
वाले हो गेम, सब
Yeah.
देखने. 50 ओवर का गेम बोल रहा हूँ मैं, नॉट 20 ओवर,
Yeah.
नॉट
Yeah.
सब are going to sit 8 hours in front of the TV on Sunday and they're going to watch that game, whether they're scrolling through reels or cooking on the side or doing something else, whatever it is, that TV will be on for 8 hours. I guarantee you that. So there are certain instances where cricket will pick up, and there will be certain instances. Yes, there are issues with the game, of course, and sometimes it feels like it's dying, but आ जाएगा वापस, don't worry.
और सब भाई रूट और ब्रुक और बेयर्स तो ये भी अच्छे मारेंगे मुझको लगता है, खासकर ब्रुक.
हाँ देखो, like, what they were saying also is that, like, if the pitch, if it doesn't move, Ricky Ponting was saying, if it doesn't move, the ball on second, third, it'll become even better to bat on. If it moves, then they have an issue. If it
Yeah.
swings and everything, because it gets a bit faster, Lords, day 2, day 3. So the ball coming onto the bat quicker, Brook and Burstow will like that, right? They'll like the ball coming onto the bat, and they'll play their shots, and they look to be aggressive, look to score runs. And yes, if it is not much lateral movement, then the England batsman can feast on this pitch as well.
Yep. Guys, are you ready for El Clasico? Pakistan versus Zimbabwe. अभी बोल रहा हूँ Zimbabwe जिस तरीके से जा रही है, I won't be surprised, but yeah, I mean, El Clasico तो नहीं, just one game that we saw T20.
El Clasico, bro. Me and Fez, if there's any game that we're going to cover, it's this game.
Pakistan, yeah.
Pakistan, Zimbabwe, and Pakistan, Sri Lanka, because they're both in Hyderabad.
Hyderabad.
So
yeah,
we have
and
more chances to cover those games than any other game. So we are very pumped up. हमारे लिए तो ये सबसे बड़ा game है World Cup का.
Am I the only one who feels England has no venom in their bowling attack? Anderson bowling looking post prime Bhuvi and Ollie Robinson is
Yeah,
so
I
average.
agree. Like today, though, I also felt that there was lacked venom in the bowling. I don't think you're the only one. Even Kevin Peterson felt that as well. A lot of people
Oh,
felt
he
that they
felt
lacked
it
venom.
full. उसका सूट गर्म हो गया था पूरा उतना
उन्हें
भापा
दे दे
निकलते.
रहा था
He
like
was more upset about the intent, and I agree with the intent part in
and they
particular. I
showed
mean,
clips while he was talking first of like
yeah.
मैच से पहले उन्हें बेस्टो से बात कर रहा स्मिथ से ने इससे बात कर रहा उन्हें उससे बात कर रहा तो
Hmm.
they showed clips of that and while he was talking he's like what is this BS बोल के
आपको बोला था ना जो भी bowling हिला हुआ जा नहीं चलेगा. आज देख लिए वो रेड सॉइल प्लेयर है.
जो भी है
I
मतलब
mean,
ही स्टिल डूइंग रियली गुड जॉब मैन लाइक ठीक है ये
I
कंडीशंस
mean, वो
में
डिसेंट उसका वो बॉल अच्छा हो गया. वार्नर भी सेम तरीके से गया. आई मीन रेड रेड सॉइल पर्टिकुलर नहीं होने इधर एजबास्टन में भी मारा. सो आई थिंक he's there, right? Like he
I
hits
think he's saying
10 quite
adjustment
a
में फ्लैट था इसलिए हमारा like flat track bully type but it's like अब देखना पड़ेगा of course yeah in swing conditions Quadra does struggle but who doesn't like Rohit
yeah.
Sharma KL Rahul अब सबको देखो is apart from like Smith Root maybe Labuschagne to a certain extent a lot of people struggle in those conditions
If Australia are leading 1-0 going into the third test, it's a matter of winning one test for Australia and they retain the Ashes. I mean, there's still three more matches, but
but
yeah,
if they go in 2-0
it's
then
hard.
it's a
Yeah,
matter of
it's
winning
much.
one test anyway and right now it
Yeah.
looks like they will win this test right they look in the ascendancy so I
Hmm.
think from here if England take a draw they'll take it but of course they look to win लेकिन अब कैसा जीतेंगे वो देखना पड़ेगा they'll have to score 600 or something and then take it from there
या मया मुस्तफा अगर फुटबॉल का सीरीज गेम होगा और क्रिकेट का तो ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट में आता है ना कि फुटबॉल.
सीरीज मतलब
लाइक आई गेस एक मिनट मुस्तफा अगर फुटबॉल का सीरीज गेम होगा और क्रिकेट का तो ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट क्रिकेट में आता है ना कि फुटबॉल. आई मीन क्रिकेट फुटबॉल का स्ट्रक्चर अलग है. सीरीज ज़्यादा नहीं रहते. आई मीन इंटरनेशनली यस अगर आप बोल रहे इंटरनेशनल वाइज देख रहे देन या क्रिकेट में ज़्यादा ही लोग देखेंगे बट अगेन क्लब फुटबॉल अलग चीज़ है. या ये
फुटबॉल
वही
ग्लोबल
वही
स्पोर्ट है राइट लाइक सब
या
इजी टू लर्न आल्सो आपको क्रिकेट समझाना किसी को मुश्किल है कितने बार हम लोग मिलते हमारे दोस्त हैं लाइक अरब दोस्त हैं गोरे दोस्त हैं यू नो लाइक हर जगह के दोस्त हैं उन लोग को जो समझा समझा के थक जाते हैं हम लोग भाई ऐसा वर्ड और पूरा समझा दिए फिर उसके बाद एकदम से फ्री आ जाता है ओ व्हाट इज दिस पूछते हैं अरे एकदम से लेग बाय हो जाता है व्हाट इज दिस तो लाइक इट्स वेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड फुटबॉल इज जस्ट ऑफ साइड यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन देन you're set bro
Flat wickets will backfire on England for sure. I understand uses on this wicket. Don't see him finding any success in that. Yeah, I mean, you can say that, but again, the wicket might change tomorrow as well. They might something like he might.
बट मेरा सवाल ये है कि अगर आप फ्लैट विकेट्स नहीं डालेंगे फिर विल योर बैट्समैन बी एबल टू प्ले द वे दे आर प्लेइंग
Exactly, that's the way. अगर तुम proper conditions में ला लिए rank runner में तो I don't know how they're going
हेजलवुड
to do
कमिंस उन लोग तो लाइक इफ यू आर गिविंग देम स्विंगिंग कंडीशंस
bouncing conditions
now
swimming. Yeah.
maybe it's just that Australia's team is a bit more a bit better on paper like or like skill wise because if you give them a green pitch I feel that Cummins and Hazelwood or Boland they will completely exploit it.
Yeah, that's what it is. And I mean, that's what, again, it comes down to putting flat tracks, what I mentioned earlier. Okay, did England stab them in themselves? But again, like your counter on that is their batting. Will they survive on a swinging pitch? Will
Yeah.
they survive on a spinning track? And they don't have spinners as well. I mean, they have Adil Rashid and stuff, but you don't know kya ho sakta. So it's a matter
आदर
of
रशीद नहीं
probably
उन्हें
skill.
रेहान अहमद
Rehan Ahmed, yeah. Adil Rashid कहीं को नहीं है कि what?
रिटायर हो
Anyway.
गया
Ah, Mustafa bhai, Ollie Stone, Luke, Ollie Stone, Luke Wood.
रिचर्ड गिल्सन को ट्राई करना चाहिए इंग्लैंड को टॉपली बार बार इंजर्ड होता है नहीं तो वो काफी अच्छा था या आई मीन ऑली स्टोन आई हैव सीन हिम क्वाइट अ बिट उसका भी अच्छा पेस है ही इज अ गुड बॉलर लूक वुड हैज डन ब्रिलियंट फॉर लैंकाशायर ही हैज डन रियली वेल इन द काउंटी चैंपियनशिप इन ऑल फॉर्मेट्स Richard Gilson I haven't seen him as much but the players that you mentioned also toply yeah these guys are good bowlers maybe they can try them आगे जाके especially with Anderson Broad coming to the end of their careers this might be the last Ashes and you'll have to look to these bowlers eventually so we'll say that there was Overton and stuff as well who played a few Ashes both the Overton brothers but
Yeah,
again उनका
yeah.
pace का थोड़ा सा issue है
अरे मुस्तफा भाई मैं भी दोस्तों को फुटबॉल के रूल समझा समझा के थक गया हूँ. उनको तो ये भी नहीं पता फ्री किक क्या होता है, एक्स्ट्रा टाइम ऑफ साइड. आई मीन फिर भी इट्स इजियर आप समझाने
easier
का,
है like
लाइक
आप
इजियर लाइक फाउल मिला आप बॉक्स में फ्री किक बोले तो फाउल के इससे कुछ तो भी आप एक्स्ट्रा टाइम बोले तो 90 मिनट के बाद अगर कोई लाइक ट्रॉफी के लिए खेल रहा है कुछ तो आप समझा भी सकते. लाइक अब मेरे को आप बोलो पावर प्ले या नाइट वॉचमैन ये चीज़ क्या समझेंगे. लाइक इट्स जस्ट वियर्ड. तो and then again कुछ तो भी नया rule of impact rule तो अपन खुद नहीं समझ रहे थे तो I think yeah, so it's like that. Are you surprised England not playing off spinner? Australia batting is stacked with left. Yeah, 100%. It's surprising. And look what Joe Root is doing, right? Like you would ideally want someone, but they don't even
They don't
have. I
have
don't even know
option
what. Yeah,
because Ryan Lamb is a leg spinner, and then they have Dawson. They didn't pick him, so they don't have really option.
Leach is
And
injured.
yeah, I think the main thing, Fez, is that Ben Stokes is not being able to bowl full quota. If he was bowling full quota, then they would have gone with an off spinner. I think that is the problem that they're having. So they need that fourth seamer. Otherwise, Ben Stokes, if he was the fourth seamer, then you wouldn't have that issue. But right now, he's playing as the fifth seamer because uske quota nahi ho rahe usse, because of injury, and that is also causing a problem in their team composition and the bowling composition. So isliye spinner ka bhi issue hai. And yeah, they saw the conditions and they probably went with that combination. But of course, the way Root bowled, and so they also have at least they had Root, at least they picked up those couple of wickets, so they
Yeah,
look at it positively. But yes, if they had like a proper off spinner, like Nathan Lyon will lick his lips if he's bowling in day 5 in this pitch.
true. Sam Curran P.
Sam
Sam
Curran bhi
Curran.
hai, huh?
Ollie Stone and Joe Jimmy Overton are injured.
But they'll come back
So
eventually, right? Like I mean, Anderson and Broad won't be able to survive like
yeah.
another 10 years or
What do you
anything. So
think Australia? Where will they finish tomorrow?
I think 420, 430. I see Smith.
Expecting conditions to change in favor of.
I see Smith getting to 100, but then they get like maybe they dash out quickly. We see that.
Unless Carey plays that counter attacking that he played
Yeah,
against
I
India.
mean, yeah, like, but again, you said like the conditions overhead. Maybe I think England might be able to pick up wickets.
Should. I don't think might. It should be now. At this point, it should be should.
Yeah,
Like,
so I say Australia put 90, 100 runs on the board and get all out. But yeah, like that's what I'm looking at. Some people are saying that they'll go to 500 also. I mean, if that happens, then Australia are
yeah,
firmly favorites.
100%. I mean, कल का तो देखना पड़ेगा, and then it's just gonna be sad if Anderson doesn't do anything. A lot of people को उम्मीद है because they want to see him and potentially last Ashes, right? So
Yeah.
it's just sad to see something like that. I think it pretty much wraps it up. Like the day one, we will come back tomorrow after day two and hopefully get you more and more. Thank you for everybody joining us. Eid Mubarak to everybody. Eid
In
Mubarak
Mubarak!
Mustafa. And yeah, hopefully do like, subscribe, share. We will be having shorts. We will be having reels. We will have India West Indies preview when it comes out in about 17, 18 days maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, till then everybody take care and have a nice night. Good night.